Welcome to Present Poetry. I'm your host, Erin Crittenden, and all poems within this podcast are either public domain or used with permission from the author or the author's estate. It's a fun time for poetry lovers of all ages, so sit back, relax, and get ready to hear some poems of the past and the present. This week's featured poet is Virna Sheard. Virna Sheard was born Virna Stanton on April 12, 1860, just after the vernal equinox of that year. She lived in Cobourg, Ontario with her aunt, so her parents, photographer Eldridge Stanton and his wife Elizabeth, could travel throughout the U.S. taking war pictures. She later moved to Toronto to attend school and remained there for the rest of her life. In 1884, she married Dr. Charls Jr, who would become Toronto's first chief medical officer, and began the journey to motherhood. Unfortunately, her first set of twins were stillborn, but Virna never gave up hope and ended up with a total of 4 sons, Charls Jr., Paul, Joseph, and Terence. In 1889, Virna composed her first poems and submitted them to a popular children's magazine known as St. Nicholas. With the encouragement of the editor, she became a regular contributor of poems and short stories to several magazines throughout Canada and the U.S., including St. Nicholas, The Globe, Saturday Night, New England Magazine, and more. Her first novel, Trevelyan's Little Daughters, came out in 1898 and displayed a rare sensitivity to the child's perspective. However, as her children grew, so did her writing, and she began writing for a more mature audience once her sons entered school. Her first volume of poetry, The Miracle and Other Poems, came out in 1913 and was dedicated to her younger brother, Eldridge Jr., who died during the Niagara Falls Ice Bridge incident of 1912. Despite Virna's husband's reluctance to support her writing, she produced 7 novels and 6 collections of poetry before her death, and was regarded as one of Canada's best-known poets and authors. Virna Sheard passed on February 22, 1943, in her hometown of Toronto at the age of 83. We are reading from Carry On, a collection of poems published in 1917 under the distinguished patronage of the Imperial Order of the Daughters of the Empire in aid of the Red Cross. This poem is called The Shells. O my brave heart, O my strong heart, my sweetheart and gay, the soul of me went with you the hour you marched away. For surely she is soulless, this woman white and still, who works with shining metal to make the things that kill. I tremble as I touch them, so strange they are and bright. Each one will be a comet to break the purple night. Gray fear will ride before it, and death will ride behind. The sound of it will deafen, the light of it will blind. And whom it meets in passing, but God alone will know. Each one will blaze a trail in blood, will hew a road of woe. Oh, when the fear is on me, my heart grows faint and cold. I dare not think of what I do, of what my fingers hold. Then sounds a voice, arise and make the weapons of the Lord. He rides upon the whirlwind, he hath need of shell and sword. His army is a mighty host, the lovely and the strong. They follow him to battle, with trumpet and with song. O my brave heart, my strong heart, my sweet heart and dear, 'tis not for me to falter, 'tis not for me to fear. Across the utmost barrier, wherever you may be, with joy unspent and deathless, my soul will follow thee. This poem is called Dreams. Keep thou thy dreams, though joy should pass thee by. Hold it to the rainbow beauty of thy thought. It is for dreams that men will ofttimes die, and count the passing pain of death as naught. Keep thou thy dreams, though faith should faint and fail, and time should lose thy fingers from the creeds. The vision of the Christ will still avail to lead thee on to truth and tender deeds. Keep thou thy dreams all the winter's cold, when weeds are withered and the garden gray. Dream thou of roses with their hearts of gold, beckon to summers that are on their way. Keep thou thy dreams, the tissue of all wings is woven first of them, from dreams are made, the precious and imperishable things, whose loveliness lives on and does not fade. Keep thou thy dreams, intangible and dear, as the blue ether of the utmost sky. A dream may lift thy spirit past all fear, and with the great may set thy feet on high. This poem is called Before the Dawn. In that one darkest hour before the dawn is here, each soul of us goes sailing close to the coast of fear. There in the windless quiet, from out the folded black, the things we have forgotten or would forget come back. Old sorrows long abandoned or kept with lock and key steal from their prison places to bear us company. All softly come our little sins, our scarlet sins and gray, to keep with us a vigil till breaking of the day. And there our velvet footsteps, or oft we seem to hear, light garments brush against the dark, so near, so very near. Then heavily, as weighed by tears, each haunted moment goes, for dawn steps down the morning sky in robes of gray and rose. O fairies of the forest ring, and little men in green, and pixies of the moonlight, and elves no eye hath seen, brew us a magic potion of deep and fairy power, a draught of Lethe for one night to tide us past that hour. This poem is called The Watcher. Little white moon, each night from heaven you lean, to watch the lonely seas and all the earth between. O little shining moon, what have you seen? What have you seen upon the fields of France, where through the drowsy grain the gay red poppies dance, unheeding splintered gun or broken lance? Deep in the green wood, shadow-laced and still, what is it you have found by fern bed and by rill? What by each hollow and each little hill? When o'er the sky the driven smoke clouds flee, and through a dusky veil look down fearfully, what do you find adrift upon the sea? In the great mountains where the four winds blow, where the king's cavalry and his foot soldiers go, what have you seen beneath the shifting snow? Little white moon, so old, so strangely bright, how could you still shine on, unless you knew some night, here in the world you watch, all would be right? This poem is called Carry On. That all freedom may abide, carry on. For the brave who fought and died, carry on. England's flag so long adored is the banner of the Lord. His the cannon, his the sword, carry on and on, carry on. Through the night of death and tears, carry on. Through the hour that scars and sears, carry on. Legions in the flame-torn sky, armies that go reeling by, only once can each man die, carry on. For the things you count the best, carry on. Take love with you, leave the rest, carry on. Through the fight be short or long, men of ours, O dear and strong, yours will be the victor's song, carry on and on, carry on. Thank you for listening to this episode of Present Poetry. If you enjoyed it, please leave us a review, share us on social media, or subscribe so you never miss an episode. If you would like to learn more about the featured poet, or you would like your work featured on the podcast, please check out the links in the show notes. Thank you again for listening, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.